Hello and welcome. This is Susan Bradley Bortfield, creator and founder of Partners at Play and Soul Speakers Global. I'm so excited today to have an amazing guest. She's all the way across the pond. She lives in Hungary. She is an amazing coach and facilitator. Welcome, Brigitta.
Thank you, Susan. I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying yes to playing with us today. So before we dive in, I'm going to just read your bio so people can get a feel for who you are and what you do, okay? So Brigitta is a transformational coach, facilitator, workshop leader, and teacher. She uses her gifts in these areas to assist her clients in achieving their desires. As a parent of 3 teenagers, she has learned the most important thing you can do as a parent is to first love and honor yourself. When we can do this, we empower our children to do this for themselves. Brigitta has been teaching for more than 10 years, and she loves to facilitate vision board workshops to help her clients bring their dreams into reality. Brigitta believes the first step in creating the life you desire is to take responsibility, for we are the creators. Oh, wow. Wow. So I am so excited that you're here, that you're willing to play with us. I get to play with you all the time because you're part of my amazing group in the Partners Playground. And over this time that we've had together, I've really come to really respect who you are and what you do and the transformations that you help your clients with. So you live in Hungary and you have 3 teenagers and you're married. So you're so passionate about what you do. And so where were you when you decided to step out into your own business and help others achieve their dreams? Like, what was that thing within you that said, I have to do this?
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting question because actually, I did lots of things. So after university and college, I did lots of things. But before I went home to give birth to my first son, who is 16, over 16 and a half, I worked in human resources. So I already had connection with people. And then after that, I don't know, somehow I got connected with people and I fell in love in nonviolent communication, actually. So then I did a trainer's course and I was doing workshops already at that time. So I really loved it. But it's quite interesting because, I'm just starting it from there, but it's not true because when I look back into my life when I was smaller, actually, or I went to high school or I was at college, then I already had moments and times when, but I see it only now looking back, when I see it now that I was already on this path to become a coach or to become, and one thing, if I can mention one thing, can I?
Yes, absolutely.
when actually, I had 3 things, but I would mention one especially when I was teaching English in a high school. And then I remember these were kids like 18, 17-year-olds. And then it was, I don't remember exactly, it was before or after Christmas, but I thought that I'm not going to give them a boring homework like, okay, write about your Christmas. But I asked them a question like, what would be your Christmas like if you were the one who organizes it? And then now, actually, only since I have been in coaching, I realized, hey, I asked such a powerful question. And then I realized it then. I realized it only now, actually. But I just, at that time, I remember I opened up something very big. So some of the kids became so intimate. Some shared so actually very sad stories with me as well, and I couldn't really handle that. But it's funny how when I think back of those times, then I was already helping those youngsters. But this question is really, I just find it quite funny that I have never, at that time I didn't know about these kind of powerful questions. But,
oh my goodness. So you really have always been a coach, right? And just asking that one question opened them up to see everything so differently, right?
yes, yes,
And you
yes.
empowered them to really think about what it is that they desire.
Yes,
I love that.
definitely, definitely. I was not that conscious about that at that time. I just knew I wanted to ask something different, something that they see the world differently, and yeah,
Oh,
that was the thing. But yeah, but it was the HR job I had actually where I got connected with coaching and trainings as well, and lots of people. And then this NVC that I happened to be in, I think that set the course also. Doing good.
that's so amazing. So you ask such powerful questions as a coach, as a teacher, as a facilitator. And I think the mark of a great teacher is those that don't go along the same path as others, like you did with your high school students, where you just open them up to the possibilities for their own life. So that's so amazing. So so you use vision boards, right? And I love vision boards. To me, you're like the vision board queen, because you hold like all day workshops, vision board
Yeah.
workshops, and then you help people discover, like we were talking before we went live, everyone, right? That that there was a point in my own personal life where I didn't know who I was anymore, right? I was a mom, I was a wife, I was an employee, I was, a boss, whatever. I was all these things, but I didn't know who I was. So that's a common thing with people, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I experienced. And, I have lots of connection with parents, not only mothers, but fathers just as much. Well, not as many. A lot more women come to the workshops, what I do for parents, but I always have men as well. And there's the same with the vision board. So I see that what is actually very inviting for them when you give them, so that you give them the space, actually, that you tell them now you have a whole day and you can be only, it's you and you, so it's with yourself. So what I see it, like, we get so lost in daily routines, parents as well, other people as well who are working. It's like, and when, especially I think we feel it when we are doing it over, like we are when we get tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we slow down a little bit, and I think that's when we realize, like, okay, who am I? What am I doing? And then you realize, like, okay, I went so far away from who I am, or I just lost myself somewhere, maybe when I was 20, I don't know, or before I took this job, or before I became a parent. And then the vision board workshop is really just like, it's not actually making the vision board, because I think that's only the final step.
Right.
There are a lot more before that, which is the vision board is important, of course, but the steps before that are just as much or even more important. When you slow down, you have the space, then you get intimate with yourself, you have questions that I facilitate, I ask questions, and then to help to connect with yourself, then you see yourself in the future. So there are a few more steps that lead to actually cutting out the pictures. But I see that people are really attracted to the space, and then the quietness that comes with it, and someone who actually gives them permission to be there for this purpose only, so that you get that you make a relationship with yourself. Yeah.
I love that, because seriously, when we meet somebody for the first time, we don't say, you know, what is your desire? What are your dreams? What are your hopes? We say, what do you do? Right? What do you do? Do you have kids? And you know, we make it about their relationship with other things, their relationship with their job, their relationship with their children, their relationship with their spouse, but we don't have the conversation about really who they are. And that's so interesting. Like when you were talking, that came into my awareness that this is true, right? And one thing I want to mention, like so many times on Facebook, right, you see parents posting, you know, my kids come first, my kids are everything, da 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 da. But really, that's dangerous, because when you put everybody first, you are not filling your own cup, right? It seems to be the honorable thing, but is it really the honorable thing?
Yeah, you know, I have been doing that. I think all of the mothers and parents, I think we have been doing it, and we are learning. That's what I see. I'm still learning. So there are phases when I'm better at this, and there are phases when I really have to stop. And then that's why I said, or when you were reading at the beginning, I think you were saying that my kids are big. Parenting is a big area where I'm learning, and my children are teaching me as well. So if I'm really open and present, then they are so brave to share with me, like, Mama, especially now that they are bigger, they can tell me so clearly, Mama, deal with your own stuff. And then they just like, but I love it. It's like, okay, hey, she's right. I shouldn't run after her, especially now that they are bigger. So it's like we have to have this open communication, but I have to be present and not like blah, 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 so that they are able to come back to me. And yeah, I think we all have to learn it. And yes, yeah, I don't know, but I think more and more women experience the benefit of and fathers as well, the benefit of loving ourselves first, and then from there to give to the kids. And there's this, you know, I think by now, at least that's what I think, everybody knows this, you know, what you do on the airplane. First you put on your mask, and then after that you can have your kids only. So yeah,
that's such a powerful example of really, because when I'm going to go here because I'm being called to, but when we are so focused on our kids are everything, and I was guilty too, right? Like my kid, everything I did was about my kids. Everything I thought about was about my kids, etc. But at the end of the day, what happens when they go off to college, when they move out and they're doing their thing, and what happens? Do you just interfere with their life, or do you, you know, if you have nothing going on for yourself, it's really important, right?
Yeah, and you know, Susan, what I just realized now when you were saying it, that when we are doing everything for our kids, we have probably this intention that I want my kids to be happy. Yeah. I want to see them happy. And then we have this misconception that I'm responsible for my kids' happiness. And I think that I'm not responsible for their happiness. I am responsible as a mother for how I live, how I respond, how I act. And then if I want to be a responsible parent, I have to be responsible for myself. And if I have, as the beginning, as you said, if I have a good enough self-compassion for myself, and if I'm learning how to be present, then the way how I parent is serving my kids really to become empowered when they are adults. So just not to make a mistake like saying I'm responsible for my kids' happiness. No, I'm responsible for how I parent and how I am and how much I can be present and how happy I am. And that's what I'm responsible for, actually.
Because you're sending the message to your children that mom is responsible for their happiness. So when they're not happy, it's mama's fault. Right? So, right? So, you know, if by bringing the kids up to think that we're responsible for their happiness, right? We're taking responsibility for their happiness, then they don't have to take responsibility for themselves.
Oh yeah, and they feel it so much actually. That's why they send me away. And besides that I'm a bit pushy and I want to see that they are fine and everything. I even send them that message unconsciously or subconsciously that they are not able to do it for themselves. And I think that's a very big thing, because if I leave them like, of course you can make yourself happy, of course you can, but they know it, and that's why they send me away at certain times, not always, but when they feel like it, then they can tell me that, like, okay. And then I think it's very important to listen to them and trust them and know that they can do it themselves. But before that, yeah, I have to really maybe separate myself a little bit from my role as a parent and think of myself as a woman, as a human.
Yes.
And I think that's also, it's not that complicated, but I think these are important things also to consider.
Right. So to those that are listening to this interview, it's like, what do you do for yourself? How do you fill your own cup? What do you like to do, right? So that's how you help your clients, right? You help them connect to who they are and what they like and what they want to do. And sometimes they haven't even thought about that for years.
Yes. It's interesting when you ask, for example, a parent, usually a mother, like, what do you like? And then they can bring examples, usually or most of the time, about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So not many examples about what do you like doing, or what do you have, what do you enjoy seeing. And I think that's so important that you see that as well, of course. But I think there's a time when it's really important to come back to yourself and then, as you said, fill up your cup also in other areas than only just parenting.
Right, and you're sending your children a very healthy message when mama has hobbies and things that she likes to do outside of the realm of parenting, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's true, because when you ask somebody, what do you love doing? They'll be like, oh, I love when my son, or I love when my daughter, or whatever. And they're so intertwined with their children that they don't know how to be with themselves.
Yeah,
so
that's interesting, like, to know how to be with myself, because we can forget about it in the daily routines. Yeah, definitely. And another thing I just realized, like, when like a mother goes away, it's also important that you feel that I have the right to enjoy myself even without the kids, so that you don't feel guilty when you do something, when you are doing something without your kids. But I think that's not too common, but when you spend so much time with your kids, but I think you don't have to wait till you get so tired or till you get worn out so much. So it's good if you watch yourself, and if you pay attention to yourself, and you do things for yourself from the beginning. It's not from the very small things. It doesn't have to be going out for days, of course not, but it can be daily reading half an hour just for myself and things like that.
Right.
So these are important just as much.
So taking a class, doing yoga, painting, reading, whatever it is, it's important that we do nurture ourselves.
And we have to be, I think that's why, as you said, yoga courses, parenting courses, or vision board, whatever is helping you to get out of that habitual way of living and then get into something that makes you more alive, and then knowing that you can serve anyone better around you that way. We think that when we are serving them, like serving, we are running after them, doing everything for them. We think that we do good to them, but then it turns out we do the best to them if they show them the example, we model to them, as how we started actually at the beginning, that I take care of myself, I am important for myself, and of course, the family is important, and we have those times when we connect with each other and daily, normally, but it depends on the family structure. But yeah, sometimes we think that we are serving them, but we are doing this service actually by running after them.
What would you say to someone to get them to flip the switch from thinking all about the children, but flip the switch so that they can think about, well, do I really know myself? What's a question that you might ask them?
I think the first thing I would ask, like, would you like to change this situation? If there is an intention to change that situation, because they might not even realize that they are in. And like, I would ask questions like how they are feeling in these situations to get connected to how they are. And then I would definitely ask what they like doing besides the kids, to realize like where do they live their lives, if there's another area of their life. And then get connected, probably those old things that even if they don't do anything, what they loved to do in the past, and then have them remember that besides being a mom or a dad, or usually mom, besides that, they have something that is not inspiring, but filling them up, or enlightens them, or I don't know.
You're woman first. You're woman first, right? You're woman first.
Yeah.
You're individual first.
Yes.
And so this interview is very personal for me, because I really did think that I was being a good parent by telling my kids exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, etc., right? That I didn't want them to get hurt. I didn't want them to fail. I didn't want them to fall. And so I made it my responsibility for their happiness, and I was actually not serving them as a parent.
Yeah, sorry, what did you say?
That's a hard thing to swallow, right? That's a hard thing to swallow, that I was not allowing them to fall on their own and learn life, right? So it's really important that we connect first to who we are, and then, you know, what do we like to do? You know, it would have served me well to go and do paint night with my girlfriends and do things on my own. It would have served me very well. It would have served my children as well. And I think that's the message here, right?
Yeah.
Is becoming a better parent, becoming a better person, becoming a better wife, becoming a better friend, when you nurture your own desires, when you nurture who you are first.
Yeah, definitely. Now we are talking about parenting, but I think it's true in any relationships, what we are talking about. So it could be colleagues, it could be man and wife, brother, sister. So it's always a base, I think, to have a good relationship with anyone else. If I have a good relationship with myself and I nurture myself. And just going back to what you said about how you feel about parenting, I think we are all in this. I think this is something very human. I felt it many times, actually, that I am like in a transition period. Mm-hmm. I'm always in a transition period. I was parented in a certain way. Mm-hmm. I saw certain examples, certain models. So I took it with me. Mm-hmm. I lived my life in a certain way, and now I became a parent. And then when I'm not conscious enough, when I'm not practicing what I have been learning, how to be present, then those old things come in. And then I parent that way. so it's happening, I think, to all of us. And now if you realize that, and if you are aware of that, that you are doing something that you didn't like in your childhood, then if you are aware of it, I think then you have a big chance that you can transform it and then change it. And you can always go back to your kids actually saying, hey, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. And I think it's a journey. It's a constant learning about ourselves.
So if you're filling your own cup, if you're tapping into your own creativity, if you're tapping into your own desires, that raises your vibration, that elevates you, and so that goes to your children, that goes to your spouse, that goes to your friendships, right? That goes to all your relationships. This is such a powerful message that that we're bringing today. So one of your core things that you do that I love is you do 1-day vision board workshops. It's like 7 hours long, but you first help people, usually women, right? But some men.
There's always one man in the group. So far, I always have one man in the group.
One lucky stud, right? Yeah. One lucky stud in every group.
And the same in the parenting courses also. There are always fathers as well.
So you take them basically on this journey of self-discovery, and then at the end, towards the end of the day, they're actually bringing their desires, they're bringing their dreams into the physical through a vision board so they can see it, right? Yes. So do you want to tell us a little bit about what that journey is like for people that attend your vision board workshops?
Yeah. As I said before, I think it's like 2/3 preparation before actually doing the vision board, and it actually starts even before they come physically to the place where we have the vision board, because they get questions from me, so they have enough time to kind of warm up and tune in into that one day. So they have questions about what they like doing, what they would like to be like, what they would like to do, what they would like to have. And then it's so important actually that when they do it, they are playing with it. So they remain very free. So no shoulds and nobody's, no limits. So they have to take it very lightly, that game. And then when we are there in the during the day, we deal with the same thing. So they work on themselves. We do some meditation as well to get connected more easily. We see very short cases, how people react and why it is important, for example, to have a clear intention. So we have a small session about intention, so that before we do anything, it's good to know what I intend. So that's also a big part actually. And then, yeah, and of course, since this is a group workshop, then we share. And that's always very powerful when we share with each other, when you take actually that action that I stand up and I'm brave enough to talk about what I desire. Mm-hmm. And that's always quite touchy actually. And then, it's not always the pictures, but how people, what emotions the participants put into the pictures. So that's very important also in the workshop. So that's not happening in the mind. It's happening here in the heart and in the very emotional and expressing emotions and feelings, so that we know that helps to bring closer what we desire. And they take away their vision board. And of course, we talk about what to do with the vision board when they have it at home, where to put it, who can look at it. Some people wouldn't like certain people to look at it, so that's also an interesting thing, how to protect your bubble. And yeah, so things like this.
And then once they can see it, right? Once they did, like you help them open up and to expand and to express. So then at the end of the day, they see their own beautiful vision that in many cases they didn't even allow themselves to give any thought to in the past. So, and I love that once they see the vision, you know, many of the participants then want you to help them go beyond the Vision Bird workshop, because you help them, you know, bring those desires that they have in their vision board into the physical reality. And I love that, right? This is brilliance, how you, it's like an onion and you're just unpeeling them so that they're just self-discovering who they really are. I love this because, you know, as we're growing up, especially women, and I don't know how it is in your part of the world, but in my part of the world, when we were growing up, we were taught to take care of everyone else but ourselves. So in many cases, we never even thought about what we want, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's not only true for women. I think I had some experiences actually with some men that whether they actually, one participant expressed it that he's it's first time that he could express something that he wanted, an object, because he thought that he would never he was never allowed to want it because it was not spiritual enough. And then you could feel that tension or that or the burden falling off actually when he was open and he could cut it out and he could put it on the board. It was such a nice moment, and it was so liberating that you are free and you are not to allow anyone to push you down or keep you in a box or anything, what you are allowed to do and when you can wish for. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So yeah, it's nice.
Beautiful. So so we're getting close to the end. So is there anything that you want to share with people, a message that you want to share with people before we wrap up?
Well, I think we have been talking about this through the whole time, but maybe just to emphasize that the most important relationship is the relationship with yourself. And that sets the tone, that sets the direction of anything in life. And I think, yeah, that's what I would say. And then it's worth to work on that relationship.
Yeah.
It's worth, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so you are inviting people to connect with you in a session so that you can help them tap into their own inner desires. So do you want to just tell me a little bit about what they can expect when they connect with you?
They can expect to gain clarity about what they want, because some people know they want to change, but they don't know what actually. They just feel so much disturbed or so much confused, not disturbed, so much confused and worn out that during the session I have them to get clarity on what they want, and I have them to connect with their desires. And then from that point, it's easier to attract what they wish in life.
And we should mention that you are a certified law of attraction coach too. Yes. So that's one of the major tools that you use in your sessions. Like, you understand how to work with the laws of the universe, and you teach your clients how to work in flow with the laws of the universe so that they can just receive whatever it is that they desire. I'm really excited about our upcoming summit. We are holding a live virtual Summit on March 2nd. I'm so excited that you're going to be one of the speakers, and you're going to be sharing your gifts and your wisdom, and you're going to be helping people really connect to their inner desires. And you have a gift for people, and there's going to be prizes, and it's very interactive. It's a live virtual summit experience, Soar into Spring, March 2nd. Mark your calendars. So, you know, Brigitta's going to be there and doing her thing in the magical way that she does it, along with 11 other amazing coaches. And yeah, I hope everybody joins us. I'm going to put the link to connect with Brigitta. If you're a mom or a dad or a person that just doesn't know who you are anymore, and really wants to connect with your own inner desires, or maybe discover what it is that you do desire for yourself, connect with Brigitta. I'm going to put the link. Connect with her free session so that you can tap into the magic that is you. And I'm also going to put the link to learn more about our upcoming summit. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm so excited to be the host. And come play with us, right? Come play. Allow yourself that day to just be free and come and play and win prizes and receive gifts and experience all these amazing coaches. So that's it. Thank you for playing with me today, Brigitta. I adore you.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
All right. And to our audience, you are loved. You are loved. You deserve all the amazing things this life has to offer. So remember to connect to who you are and what it is that you desire for yourself in this life, separate from your responsibilities. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.